Hey guys, Rexasaur here, and welcome to the second set of battles for round 1 of the Vampire Counts Group 4 Heroes of the Old World Tournament. On the home team, I guess, we have King of Pergamon versus Lorenzo in this second battle. King of Pergamon has bought a army. I'm not entirely sure. I'm recording this battle like 2 days after recording the last ones, so yeah, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skeleton spearmen. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, 2 graveguard and 2 graveguard with great weapons. Black knights with lances and barding, and a skeleton spearman over there. I think it's going to be the same on this side. Yeah, skeleton spearman, lance and barding, normal black knights, as well as a unit of Vargeist, 2 units of crypt horrors, and Manfred on a zombie dragon. Lorenzo has bought an army of vampires as well, also with an army of Vargeist, and also with Manfred on a zombie dragon. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 graveguard. He has, I believe, 2 graveguard with great weapons. He has a Vargulf. He also has a White King as his hero, and he has, I believe, 3 units of Black Knights? Yep, 3 units of Black Knights, some of them with upgrades, some of them were not. This map is Southern Chaos Waste, and I really like this map because both sides start in a dip, so they can't see the other army. I mean, in this case, I believe they can, mostly, like some of their people can because of the flying units, but both players basically have to rush forward so that they can see the other thing. Now, some of you might think that there's an unfair advantage, like over here, because, or maybe over here, like it doesn't matter. Like basically, if both sides decided to rush, they would get to the middle bit, and it's very flat. Like this has been tested. It does, like, yeah, it feels like this side might have an unfair advantage because they get up the hill a bit longer, but this bit is so, like, if Lorenzo had started a bit closer, which I think is deployments over there, he can get to middle. So this map is fair. I'm not disputing. None of the players have been like complaining, but I know that a few players most likely will, having seen some complaints in previous and other battles that I've seen on this map. But I feel like this map is just really fun because both players can't see the other army until they go over the hill, so it gives a nice little attack pattern. Also, the sides of the hill are also lower than the middle, which means that you can do really nice flanking maneuvers, which I really like. But Lorenzo has decided to stay still. He's decided not to move, so Pergamon has to run to him. I'm not 100% sure if undead actually suffer from fatigue. I know that some undead do, like obviously those that aren't the skeletons and risen undead do, but I'm not entirely sure about the other things. I guess I'm gonna have to check. Some of the things I don't really pay attention to. Yeah, it's all good. Also, I found out that if you were to mouse over certain features, you can see the exact number of leadership that you have and what changes it, which I think I discovered this yesterday whilst going through all the replays, and bloody hell, such a good addition. Like, it's basically telling you what the leadership stat is. Bit frustrating, but to get to do it, I think there should be like a little background button kind of thing. But it's really nice to know. It's like, well, this guy's got really good leadership, but he's got +5 and +3 because Lord's nearby. You know exactly what's causing leadership buffs and debuffs. Anyway, this battle is pretty long. I mean, most of it is King and Pergamon getting into position. Lorenzo hasn't done anything. He's actually moved his flank around. His graveguard is now flanked around to protect his flank. He's made a little echelon over there, as well as his Black Knights around the side and his White King getting ready. As of time of recording, the second round is underway. Basically, the way I'm going to be doing this, and I'm pretty sure I told you in the first video, there will be a separate video completely explaining what the hell's going on. But every day I'm going to be posting the stats and the replays of every single group, 1 group per day. So today, Tuesday, is the Vampire Count, and then over the next 3 days after that will be the other 3 groups, and then we'll have a round recap at the end of the week. Lorenzo, well, King of Pergamon has brought his Manfred forward and put a Spirit Leech, I believe, yeah, on Lorenzo's Manfred. Quite a potent spell, especially on a single character. Very strong spell indeed. And King of Pergamon seems to be just moving his people around. Now what's really great about Vampire versus Vampire is that because there's literally no range, you can do these kind of movements really close by and not actually like have any kind of fear for your own men, apart from maybe some magic spells being cast. But Lorenzo still hasn't cast anything and doesn't seem to be wanting to move. He has just, however, cast a Undeath Resurgent on these Graveguard and himself, as well as Red Fury, which I think that's a solo skill. And then King of Pergamon has brought his Manfred forward, which means that Lorenzo is going to bring forward his Vargeist. I believe that Pergamon was trying to bait that. And then Gaze of Nagash has been cast on King of Pergamon's Manfred, successfully hitting it there. It might be a Vargeist versus Vargeist fight over the battlefield, and actually the first stage, the Skeleton Spearmen are charging into the Black Knights. They're going to have a small advantage over it, but I believe that the Black Knights are going to be more than capable of taking out, although the Skeleton Spearmen are definitely going to do more damage than you would think. Graveguard are going to come in though and probably flank the Skeleton Spearmen over there. There's just a huge battle. It is Vargeist versus Vargeist with some spells. Soulblight has been cast by Lorenzo, and over here we have, I believe, Fate of Bajuna. Maybe? No? Something's been cast and it's not showing me what it is. We have a Spirit Leech over here, being cast here, and then we have Encirclement by King of Pergamon around these men. The Black Knights are starting to crumble. The Vargolf has been brought in, so this could go either way, to be honest. The Graveguard are going to do great against the Skeleton Spearmen, but the Black Knights are going to be doing pretty good. Over here, there's still more of a battle with King of Pergamon coming in. King of Pergamon bringing Skeleton Spearmen means that he's most likely going to lose that infantry fight. Graveguard are just going to tear through it because these guys are anti-large, not anti-infantry, whilst the Graveguard are anti-infantry and also armoured. So we have a big fight going on here. King of Pergamon's Vargeists have been killed. We see another buff being brought, another Undeath Resurgent going through his line. So they're going to go Skeleton Spearmen just standing literally 2 centimeters away from Lorenzo's line. If Lorenzo decides to charge now, these Skeleton Spearmen are going to be like ready for a charge, which means they get a little bonus. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Like, what the hell, guys? Come on. But King of Pergamon has come behind. He's done another Spirit Leech, I believe. There's a Red Fury going on. I believe there was a Spirit Leech on him very shortly, but I think Lorenzo's leader is going to fall. He's put an invocation on the heck on himself to heal himself, but all his men are starting to crumble around this side. The Vargeist is starting to crumble anyway, but they weren't very low. I'm very surprised. I don't know what Lorenzo's doing in terms of like what his infantry is doing, because they're not actually attacking. Also, these great guys with great weapons, which are excellently placed, are going to be able to flank around now that all these men are sort of encircled or taken. Although charging through the lines here, probably not the best idea. You might want to get them on the flank. Like, this unit is definitely going to have a really good time going through the rear of this Graveguard unit. Lorenzo's Manfred finally defeated. This side it looks like Lorenzo is also falling back. His Graveguard pretty much the only thing left. The Vargolf, however, although losing quite, like, he is starting to crumble, is doing quite a lot of damage. He's a big damage dealer. King of Pergamon, however, I'm not entirely sure what he's doing in terms of anything with his zombie dragon. Anyway, oh, he's going in for the charge, a big charge going into the rear of that. We see a leap forward as the Crypt Horrors go in, also doing. Then we got an Undeath Resurgent being cast. That is a Manfred. That's not a spell. It's just an ability. Really good. We got some major crumbling going on for the Black Knights of Lorenzo. Also, the White King is in here doing pretty good, although the Lord is dead, and we can see that on the leadership modifier of. Oh God, what's this guy doing? Oh, I can't actually see. Yeah, I mean, damage sustained is a big one. The Lord dead is a -10 flat apparently, so that's always a good thing. Yeah, around the back it just looks pretty damaged. Although over here it seems like King of Pergamon is losing ground. Oh, I don't know. Oh, have the Black Knights been pulled back, or have they just all died? It seems like Lorenzo's Black Knights have all died. But yeah, it does seem like there's a slight advantage over here, although Lorenzo's men are starting to crumble here and everywhere, being against 3 units in some cases. Here Pergamon doing slight charges here and there, and a Spirit Leech, which is a very bad spell to use on a multiple unit kind of case. But I guess they're still going to take quite a bit of damage, so why not, you know? But yeah, and King of Pergamon using his hero very, very well, or his Legendary Lord to say very, very well against Lorenzo here. Seems like the line, although like I completely agree with Pergamon taking Spearman, but not as a main line. But I think because of the way the outcome of... okay, sorry about that. It got a little... The game decided to crash on me, as usual, but I couldn't be bothered to record the whole battle. So anyway, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted, because of the outcome of how the battle's gone, especially on the flanks, with King of Pergamon managing to get control of most of the flanks, or at least locking up most of the cavalry and taking out Manfred very quickly. The Spearmen as the main body line kind of worked, although you can see at some stages the Spearmen are taking very heavy casualties against Graveguard, which is not surprising in any way. Here we have another Undeath Resurgence, Master of Black Arts for Manfred on King of Pergamon's side, getting ourselves more flanking charges. It doesn't look good for Lorenzo, not going to lie. It does definitely feel like it's going to go like for King of Pergamon's camp, although on the flanks there are still very heavy, like hard hitters on the flank. And say, you know, Grave Guards, great weapons, just Grave Guards in general to be fair, just a lot of Grave Guards in Lorenzo's stage. Also there's Vargolf. This is the thing, King of Pergamon managed to, whilst you know, seemingly throwing away units, I guess, he did manage to do a very big like deal, you know, kind of, what was I going to say, like, not muddy out, but keeping like really key units like the Vargolf stuck in combat over there, so he couldn't take down in the main line, going round the back and things like that. Definitely very good. I mean, look at this guy. Like he sacrificed, to an extent, he sacrifices Black Knights to keep these very strong units away. Although you can see that Lorenzo, most of his units aren't actually in combat. Like this unit of Black Knights, not in combat, not doing anything. And I do feel like if Lorenzo wants to do better, should pay attention. But I feel like that's a big thing in Warhammer. It feels like a lot of units sort of just stick around, like they just randomly stop combat even when they're several meters away from the enemy, and you don't really know whether or not they're in combat. But I guess that's just something that everyone needs to pay attention to. I do this mistake a lot. I'm not saying that only Lorenzo does it, but I do. I feel like it's a very Warhammer issue, and something if he does want to improve and you know, I mean, it didn't look good for him anyway. Not saying that would have turned the battle. But if he, yeah, I feel like a lot, and I do say this to all people, I should do it myself as well. Do pay attention to when your units are no longer in combat. I mean, you could pick on, for example, this unit's not in combat. Not that he needs to be, but, you know, things like, I don't even think there was a possibility of that unit being in combat anyway, because there's no more enemy units on the field. So there we go, there's only these two and they are disintegrating. Well done, King of Pergamon, for your victory. There you go, so now you've also won one game. We're just waiting for the White King, because I think the White King had a huge amount of health before he went down. So there we go, a Pyrrhic victory. It didn't seem like that. It looked more like a close victory than a Pyrrhic one. I wouldn't have gone that far to say it was Pyrrhic, because it did seem like Lorenzo, not that he didn't put up a very good fight, it was still close, but it wasn't like, it did seem like Pergamon had most of it under his control throughout most battle. So anyway, now we will move on to the other battle on battle number 2, Dragonheart versus Gladiator Gamer. Okay guys, welcome to the second battle. I'd like to give a small correction. I think I said it was Southern Chaos Waste, this was the map. This is Northern Chaos Waste. There are literally two maps called the same thing. But it's the same map nevertheless. So on one side we have Dragonheart, I believe. Yes, he has Manfred on a Winged Nightmare. He also has a Vampire on a Skeletal Steed. He has one unit of Crypt Horrors here. He has 2 units of Vargeist in the air. He has a small contingent of 4 units of Graveguard, 1 unit of Cairn Racers Infantry. He also has 2 units of Black Knights here, and 2 units of Hex Race here. Before I even compare the two armies, I would like to say that Dragonheart's army looks really small because there's a lot of very, very, very expensive elite troops. Maybe not these, but like Black Knights plus Hex Race on their own can race very strong units, but very expensive. On the other end, we have Gladiator Gamer, who also has Manfred, although I believe Manfred is only on a Skeletal Steed. There he is. He has bought, I believe, a Vampire as well, also on a Skeletal Steed. He has also got 2 units of Vargeist. He has 2 units of Spears. Oh yeah, the fuck ton of Spears actually. He's got 2 units there. Then he's got, there's a Graveguard, there's a Graveguard, there's a Graveguard. So he's got 4 units of Skeleton Spearmen. 2 units of Black Knights there. He's got, I believe, 2 more units there. Yep, so 4 units of Black Knights in total. And then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 units of Great Guard with great weapons. So let's get into the battlefield. 6 units of Great Guard with great weapons. 6 units of Great Guard with great weapon. Why didn't I count these two? What am I doing? Anyway, we shall go. This battle is notably shorter than the last one. Oh my god, there's a big hole here. Oh, it's got lava. Nice. Anyway, so once again, people have to stay on the bottom here. We can see on a quick tab that some of these units are very elite in terms of veterancy. Well, Dragonheart is sort of given veterancy here and there and everywhere. Actually, most of these guys at least have 1 unit of veterancy. Dragonheart has a massive advantage with Manfred because he's not going to be targeted by any flying unit, well, actually, except for these, what they call the Vargeists, but he has his own Vargeist to counter it, and with Manfred in the air, that's actually going to add for a lot of damage overall. We're going to see how this works and how this goes. Gladiator going to move in a bit. He's actually cast a few of his things already, and we can see the vampire going forth. I believe the vampire has the lore of vampires, which would make sense, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what he's going for, moving his vampire up closely. We can see that Gladiator Gamer has moved up his contingent of spears and black knights to counter this thing. He's also come through. It's a Fate Bajuna, so it does seem that this vampire has the lore of death. He's gone for a Fate Bajuna on these Graveguard, which is a very good spell to cast, to be fair. They're going to be taking a lot of sustained damage for over a quite long period of time. We can see the total health pool. I don't mean we can if we do that, though. It's going down to under 5,000 health, but they have a very big health pool being on huge unit scale. We can see that Gladiator Gamer has moved. He's also going to cast something on these Hex-Rays, most likely Fate Bajuna as well. Yep, there we go, Fate Bajuna on these Hex-Rays, and they're going to be taking a lot of damage very quickly because they don't have a lot of health. The reason why Hex-Rays are so feared, though, is because they are ethereal. However, any kind of magical attack goes through that, like straight away, because ethereals are weak to magical attacks. You've got another Fate of Bajuna going on. I believe both these players are taking this spell a bit too recklessly, and we can see the first set of hits. You can see one of these Hex-Rays already down to 23, no health on this unit. Going to go through these Black Knights Hex-Rays, and we can see another Fate of Bajuna being cast as well. Hex-Rays are armor piercing, which is great. They cause terror, which is pretty terrible against under a vampire things, but it's all good. But they have ethereal, which means that they take, I believe it's something like minus 75% damage, which is pretty good. But they still take damage. They just take 25% of it rather than all of it. But when it comes to being surrounded and being attacked by Fate Bajuna, it's going to be a lot of deadliness. We can see that Dragonheart has moved his very elite troops to just charge these Graveguard with great weapons. Now, Graveguard with great weapon, they're going to take a lot of hits. I think they're so armored they're not going to take that much damage overall. Also, Gladiator Gamer has not moved his own Vargeist. He's going to try and do something with those eventually. He's not countering, which means that he's probably got a trick up his sleeve with them. And we can see the big charge, Graveguard versus Great Weapon. The Great Weapon dudes are going to be better than the Graveguard, although these guys are going to be pretty evenly matched. I think these guys might have a major disadvantage because they are outnumbered overall, which is unfair for them, really. And Manfred has been charged straight into the Skeleton Spear, which is a very bad idea because these are anti-large and he is on a mount. Probably not the best thing to do. We got another spell going on. I wonder what this one is. I think it might be another Fate of Bajuna, to be honest. On someone. I don't know. There's a spell that's been cast. Can't really see what it is. It might be Spirit Leech, might be Fate of Bajuna, it could be anything. Either way, it does seem like due to the misfortune of Dragonheart at the beginning, taking his Hex-Rays, you know, kind of getting absolutely crippled by the magic of Gladiator Gamer. And now he's being surrounded very quickly. Some of these guys on Gladiator Gamer's side crumbling very quickly. Well, not very quickly, but quickly enough. And now, massive rear charge from the guys. I'm actually going to pause it to show you the effect this has on morale in general. If I can get the leadership stat. No? There we go. So minus 30%, just minus 30 from damage sustained, but attacked in rear is minus 14. The flanks exposed because they're getting attacked in rear is also minus 6. And also just a general faster units nearby, minus 4. That's minus 24 leadership just on being flanked by cavalry. Obviously, they also get encouraged because they are Graveguard by nearby units. That's the plus 8, but the minus 30 as well from taking damage from that charge and also in general. rear attacking is very important to try and get an army to rout. Of course, the Graveguard won't be routing very quickly. They are, in fact, never going to rout because they are Graveguard and they are I don't think there is a wizard. I think there must be a wizard of death for the Empire. If there isn't, then that would be a very good choice. In a vampire versus vampire setting, ethereals probably not the best decision because they are very easy to take down. I'm not entirely sure the Ken Wraith did anything. But yeah, so in this, there we go, the death in place of Lord. There goes Manfred. So Gladiator Gamer wins his second game, putting him on top of the group. And here's the results screen. As you can see, Gladiator Gamer with 2 wins, 0 losses, and at 1900 troops remaining has 6 points. Second, we have King of Pergamon, who has won his game against Lorenzo, put him above him because of the amount of troops remaining. Lorenzo taking a third position, keeping the same amount of troops he had remaining at 551, because once again, vampires crumble. And Dragonheart with his prize position of last with 0 troops remaining, 0 points, but a lovely 2 in the losses column. Really high numbers there. Enjoying the last position. So thank you very much for watching this video. Once again, in 1 hour's time you will have the third and final videos for the battles, the third and final video containing the last battles of this round. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did, and I will see you next time.